So Burke gets to the line second most out of the Linfield Wildcats. Comfortable putting the ball on the floor and causing problems for the defense. And she's a quick 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Peters gets the inbounds. Brings it up one-on-one against this tight pressing man-to-man Linfield defense. Montgomery hits Morgan at the top left elbow. Leaf to Montgomery up top. She uses the Baker screen. Holly Morgan with the drive and a dish to Emelina Baker. That gets deflected and stolen by the Wildcats. Burke advances up the floor, gets the ball to Vermeulen. And we've got our first offensive block of the night. So both teams now have one turnover each. Teams are number 1 and 2 in the Northwest Conference in that category. Turnover differential. They're both, I think Whitman's plus 3.1 and Linfield's 3.0, causing 3 turnovers more than they commit themselves. Leaf out on the left wing, puts it on the floor, little stop-up jumper just off the Northwest Conference logo, and it's Eve Burke, I'm sorry. That was Willie at the top, handing the ball off. That's off of Solt's foot. Recovered. Less than 10 seconds on the shot clock. And another Linfield turnover. That was Solt, who thought her teammate was going to flare, and she did not, resulting in the second turnover of the night for the Wildcats. I'm sorry, that was Meade with that pass. Blues in their four round one setup. Holly Morgan puts the ball on the floor, gets to the key, establishes a pivot. Nice under control play. One shot on the shot clock, and she wisely gets the shot off, but it's a 30-second shot clock violation. So after a pretty clean start, the Blues and the Wildcats have traded turnovers the last couple times down the floor. Vermeulen takes a look inside, hits the high post, cuts off of her. And that call is going to go against Emelina Baker. That'll be her second of the evening, so that's going to give her some early bench time. The Blues with 3 team fouls in the first quarter. Linfield still at 1. Nice cut down the middle. And that Meade shot comes off the front of the rim. Blues transition. That's nice penetration by Crawford, and her shot is blocked by Meade. So Lavelle is the player who came in for Emelina Baker. Will be playing that post position. And that pass is off Peters' hands, hits the sideline. Another turnover against the Blues. Meade initiates the offense. Level with a nice deflection and a steal. That was against the junior Willie for Linfield. Holly Morgan takes a look. Still knotted at 4 apiece. Peters' bounce pass is kicked. So the Blues are going to get a fresh 20 on the shot clock and take it out underneath. Coach Franz calls in the play. We've got a fabulous coaching matchup on the floor tonight. Coach Ferenz in her 26th year, and Coach Munn in her 11th at Linfield. Holly Morgan with a nice drive, left-handed leaner, but not quite enough to get it down. Wildcats are in their fast break transition. Go inside, and that Willie with the right-handed power move. And we have our first timeout. First timeout of this matchup between the number 1 Wildcats and the number 3 Blues. The Blues are back in action next week for games here at the Sherwood Center against George Fox and Lewis and Clark. Visit www.whitmanblues.com for updated dates, games, times, viewing options, and ticket information. So we're winding down the Northwest Conference regular season. We have 2 full weeks after this week. These 2 teams, Linfield, will have 5 games remaining. They've got a 3-game week coming up where they are at Willamette, and then they're on the road against, they're at home hosting PLU and UPS. And then the last weekend they will host Lewis and Clark before finishing their season at George Fox. Whitman, on the other hand, next weekend will be hosting Friday and Saturday, Friday against Fox, Saturday against Lewis and Clark, and then on the road to wrap up the season with what proves to be a real key game in terms of the seeding for the conference tournament at UPS, and then finishing at PLU. So this early 4, both teams got off to a quick 4 points. All 4 points for Linfield by Evie Burke. And nice little inbounds play. And Burke adds to her total, so she is now up to 6 points. Holly Morgan takes a look from the right wing. Penetrates hard, out to level. Nice block shot by the Wildcats. Montgomery recovers it. 10 on the shot clock. Peters launches a 3 to beat the buzzer. And got a pretty good look. And that's Meade, who's leading the fast break. Holly Morgan with a real nice deflection out of bounds underneath. It'll be the Wildcats with another out of bounds underneath play. They scored easily on this last out of bounds underneath. And so Avery Neal, number 21, in for the Blues. Meade has the ball up top for the Wildcats. Hands off to Vermeulen. Burke, nice patience. On-ball screen. And that's an outstanding 3-point shot by Solt. Another one of the seniors for Linfield, and their full court pressure causes their first turnover as far as full court pressure. They do not capitalize. Montgomery comes down. That was Holly Morgan, comes down and gets a good look at an 8-footer, but that comes off the back of the rim. So Wildcats spurred off to a 5-point lead, 9-4. Blues have been on a bit of a dry spell here offensively. Nice steal by Holly Morgan. Well defended drive to the key. She under control, kicks it out to Montgomery. Montgomery, the first year from Boise, hits level at the free throw line. Out to Avery Neal, back to level. 2 bounces left, kicks it out. And so Leith with the first 3-pointer of the evening for the Blues, drawing the Blues within 2 points. Down 9-7 to the Wildcats. 2:40 remaining in the first period. Burke takes a look, gets it up top. Nice, Willie with a nice little 2-bounce left and spin right. Plenty of space inside. Comes off the front of the rim, but gets her to the line, shooting 2. Jordan Leith is going to take a break. Brianna Andrade now in the game for the Blues. So Willie gets the first. She's a 72% free throw shooter. Gets the second as well. The Wildcats are a quick 6 for 6 at the free throw line to start this first quarter. Montgomery bringing it up, working against Solt. Brianna Andrade out top. Cut by Hoover now in the game for the Blues. Holly Morgan again, a drive to the right. Tries to hit a cutter, Andrade cutting low, and that's another turnover for the Blues. Morgan is going to take a break. And Leith back in the game for the Blues. Meade, first team all-conference point guard last year, initiates the offense. A little bit of a fumble and a nice steal by Morgan Montgomery. And Hoover gets a very nice short baseline jumper. Left baseline, drawing the Blues within 2. 11-9 Wildcat, 2-point lead. Wildcats look inside. Little shuffle action, then a screen to screener. Hard drive left. Brianna might have got away with a little contact there. Morgan Montgomery with the rebound. Blues, Linfield does an outstanding job denying the initial penetration off the dribble. Hoover, left-handed jump hook from the middle of the key. A great start for the youngster coming off and giving Evelina Baker a break at the post. Vermeulen, hard drive left. That comes up short. Vermeulen hasn't cracked the scoring column yet. Montgomery gets in the middle of the lane and gets a fortunate call. She's off balance and was in the midst of a pass that was going to be intercepted, but got a little bit of a break with a contact call from the official, and the Blues are going to take the ball out underneath. Coach Bunn discussing the latest call with the official. Proud mother of a 3-week-old baby, Ayla, that we'll talk about in a little bit. And Montgomery tries to thread the needle to Hoover inside. Unsuccessfully. Turnover against the Blues. Wildcats taken out on the end line. So 39 seconds. We've got about a 10-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock for the first quarter. Meade works up top. The Wildcats reverse the ball. Meade makes a tough cut to the left post. Receives a pass and goes up with a little left-handed jump hook. And that'll get her to the free throw line. See if she can crack into the scoring column. First free throw's down. Linfield looks extremely comfortable at the free throw line. They lead the conference in that category. Meade misses the second one. And as a result, they're probably going to get the last shot of the first quarter. Nice penetration dish. So that was Hookema, who was the beneficiary of Meade's pass. 5 seconds left. Montgomery dribbles to the lane. Her floater is going to come up just short of everything. And the Wildcats are going to finish the first period with a 14-11 lead over the Blues. So again, if you're just joining us, this is Skip Molitor sitting in for Jimmy Hill, who's coaching with Jeff Rhineland today out at the community college. And very excited to be able to call this outstanding matchup in the Northwest Conference between the league-leading Linfield Wildcats, who come in with a 10-0 league record, and Whitman College, who's right now in the third spot with a 9-2 record. So I mentioned Ayla Buss. So Coach Buss, on the recent trip to Tacoma, they were hoping like heck that she would get through that trip without giving birth to their third child. And her husband, Casey Wilson, Mitchell Wilson, I'm sorry, is on the sideline as well. And they successfully got back to McMinnville, and that Monday they delivered a 7-pound Ayla Wilson as their third child. And I believe she coached Wednesday, so I guess it had one day off. We got some tough ladies out here. So her three children match Michelle Friends on the other sideline, but Michelle's children are a tad bit older. All three of them having graduated from college. A pair of women's coaches who are doing amazing jobs with their programs and their families as well. So quick bit of a surprise, both teams with 6 turnovers in that first quarter. And these are two teams that lead the conference in turnover differential, but they also lead the conference in causing turnovers. And right now they're having a little bit more success causing turnovers than they are avoiding turnovers. So the Wildcats come down. They've got 10 seconds left on the shot clock. And that was Solt with a three-pointer up top. And the rebound is going to be a team rebound for the Blues. And they'll take it out on the end line. I would expect Linfield to pick up with their full-court man-to-man pressure here. So this man pressure, they do a very nice job of nobody is open out there, so it's always a bit of a challenge to advance the ball with the pass. Against this kind of a pressure, you would typically bring it forward with the dribble, which we did in that case. Holly Morgan gets the ball in the right corner and gets on the board for the Blues. So nice drive and a finish. Blues draw within 1. And that's Ray for Linfield. Significant contrast between these two teams. Linfield is senior laden. Seniors, I believe, fill 6 of the first 8 spots for the Wildcats, with the other two spots being filled by juniors. Whitman, on the other hand, does not have a senior on the roster. But they're living at the free throw line right now and doing a very good job. They're 9 for 10 for the night, 90%. And nearly caused another turnover in the backcourt. A nice little opportunistic trap on the dribble. And the Blues are fortunate to have the ball deflected out of bounds off of a Wildcat. And so not a turnover, and the Blues will retain possession, down 3 points, 16-13. Avery Neal at the top of the key. Holly Morgan at the top, hard drive to the right. Good look at a driving lane, just comes off the rim, rebounded by the Wildcats. Wildcats look inside, and that's Willie, who tried to hit her teammate along the baseline, a little bit off balance, and that ball flies out of bounds. So that will be the 7th turnover of the first half for the Wildcats. Neal inbounds to Leith. Crockdown screens on both sides. Lavelle cuts, empties. Leith up top to Avery Neal. Hands back off to Leith. Nice little drive to the right. Stop up in the middle of the lane. And that jumper is going to come off the front of the rim. Wildcats in very good rebounding position. Nice back cut by the Wildcats. That's sold at the top of the key. Hard drive right. Crossover goes to the left. No call by the official there, which I think was a good no call. Blues with the rebound, have a chance to draw within one or tie the game. Good look at the three from Holly Morgan. Lavelle with the offensive rebound, out to Avery Neal. Holly Morgan with the step across, nice left-handed lay-in after coming to a jump stop. And the Blues are within one. And Coach Bus Wilson calls timeout. Probably address the turnover issue a little bit. They're doing an awfully good job from the free throw line, but been, I believe, guilty of 8 turnovers to this point in the first half. So back to the coaching matchup that we're being treated to today. So Casey Bunn Wilson is her 11th year at Linfield, and last year was a real breakthrough year. They had had several years in those first 10 years for her where they were not in the league playoffs, and last year some things fell into place, and a lot of it had to do with the 2 first-team All-League players we're watching, Vermeulen and Meade. And so last year, they finished at 19-7, 10-6 in the Northwest Conference. It got them the privilege of coming to Walla Walla in the first round of the Northwest Conference playoffs and played a good, solid game against the Blues before the Blues moved on to the championship game. And then on the other sideline, Michelle Friends in her 26th season. 6-time Northwest Conference Coach of the Year, the winningest coach in the history of the Northwest Conference. Those 3 times she's led her team, including last year, to a 16-0 Northwest Conference League record, and has just had a fabulous career at Whitman College. So we are back in action. Blues defending man-to-man. Good help on the inside. And Holly Morgan with a nice steal and then draws a foul, I believe. Yes. That foul is going to go against Ray. And that is her second personal foul. So Holly inbounds it to Montgomery. Montgomery initiates the action, 1-4 across for the Blues. Hit Lavelle at the right elbow. Holly Morgan puts the ball on the floor, driving hard right again. And having a hard time being able to finish that drive right. Wildcats transition hard. Nice drive to the middle of the lane by Ray. Ray is another one of the seniors, not a starter, but one of those 6 seniors in their top 8 players. And their experience off to a good start on the road against the traditional power, trying to maintain that undefeated league record. So Montgomery with under 10 on the shot clock. Outstanding pass to Brianna Andrade back cutting to the basket. And Andrade will go to the free throw line. So Andrade, a 74% free throw shooter. Blues very solid. They're every one of their top 5 players is into the mid-70s as far as free throw percentage. Andrade gets the first to go down, draws the Blues within 2. And gets them both, 18-17, 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Meade crosses the timeline, gets the ball out to Solt, left wing. That driving lane is going to come up short. Holly Morgan crosses the timeline for the Blues. A little bit of a head fake from the three-point line, gets the ball to Montgomery. Montgomery up top, goes left off the high post pick, maintains her dribble, uses the same pick again, going in the other direction. Has the ball deflected, but unfortunately it bounces to the Blues and level with the, I think that was a three-pointer from the right corner. Pretty good look. Also an important shot to take late in the clock. Wildcats with the rebound. Fast break transition. They get it to the lane. And Willie with her first bucket of the evening. I'm sorry, that's her second. She's up to 4 points now. Holly Morgan with a quick touch pass to Montgomery. Montgomery not quite expecting that, so another turnover against the Blues. Meade maintains her dribble. Blues doing a good job deflecting several passes here. Both teams playing outstanding man defense. Burke with the open three-pointer. It's off the back. Willie with the offensive rebound. And that's Meade with the drive and the catch and immediate shot, and she's fouled by Morgan Montgomery. So Avery Neal is going to check into the game, giving Montgomery, who now has two fouls, a break. So both Baker and Montgomery on the bench for the Blues with 2 first-half fouls. Meade's free throw hits every part of the rim before it dangles off the front. Unsuccessful. And the second one, nothing but the bottom. So the Wildcats up 21-17. Maintain their man-to-man full court pressure. Jordan Leith waiting for the cutters. Brianna Andrade out at the right wing. Holly Morgan at the free throw line. Holly puts the ball on the floor, hits Sumi level. Her left-handed lay-in comes up short, rebounded by the Wildcats. Blues have not had a lot of offensive rebounds in this one. Nice block by Avery Neal, but recovered by the Wildcats. They get another look at it. I think that was Willie inside. And Meade gets the ball to the top. Nice steal by Holly Morgan. She leads the Blues in that category. Brianna Andrade with an outstanding left-handed lay-in. Assist to Holly Morgan. Andrade lift off the bench. 4 points now for the Blues. Got a one-possession game, 21-19. Meade takes it hard to the right. Well defended and rebounded by Brianna Andrade. Advanced to Sumi level, and that's going to go out of bounds. Turnover against the Blues. So Morgan Hoover now into the game for Andrade. Jordan Leith also taking a break as Peters is back in the game. Meade initiates the offense, waving her teammate through and gets a little on-ball screen. Stops up with a good look at a little stop-up jumper about 12 feet. Off the back of the rim, rebounded by Holly Morgan. Holly driving right and stops up, pivots to the left, gets an 8-foot jumper down to tie the game at 21 apiece. And Holly now up to 6 points for the game. Hard drive to the hole by Roberts. One of a pair of twins for the Wildcats. So for Ray, the first one comes off the right side. Wildcats started off on fire from the free throw line, cooling off a little bit now. But she gets the second one down to take the 22-21 lead against the Blues. Mead with the deflection on the inbounds. It's off of her, so Blues retain possession. Avery Neal makes her break. The Blues go up the sideline. Back to Avery Neal. She crosses the timeline. Holly Morgan. Blues with their flex action. A little back pick on the block. Hoover takes a look. A little bit of a head fake. She cuts through. Holly tries to thread the needle. And I think Hoover's going to get called for a little bit of an aggressive grab, trying to regain possession of that ball. So as expected, an outstanding defensive battle. These are two teams that are both extremely sound on both ends of the floor. Good, solid fundamental offense. But if anything, slightly better defense. A lot of deflections, a lot of effort, a lot of real hard to generate easy looks against both of these teams. And that was witnessed by another deflection and steal by the Wildcats. Mead charges the ball at the court. Roberts with the key jumper. And that was Hookema who got the offensive rebound, dished it back to Roberts for an easy lay-in. And the Wildcats have a 3-point lead at 24-21. 1 minute left in the first half. Lavelle takes a look inside to Holly Morgan. Nice pass, nice catch, nice score for the Blues. The Blues draw within one, 24-23. Holly Morgan now with 8 points to lead the Blues. That's Mead who stops up free throw line. And then Vermeulen, right lane penetration. Again, both teams doing an awfully good job with sound half-court man defense. And Avery Neal with the rebound gets it ahead to Hoover. And that's Morgan Hoover with the catch and the left-hand lay-in. Puts the Blues ahead 25-24. Last shot of the half is going to come from the Wildcats. And it's Vermeulen who drives left. Level with her second block of the first half. And so we have 1.6 seconds left in the first half. And the Wildcats are going to get a chance here to go ahead on the last second, literally, bucket. But they come up short, and the Blues battle back. Down at 1 point by 6, and lead at halftime 25-24. Almost an identical score to the first game at McMinnville. Early in the season, I believe it was January 9th, and the halftime score, I think, was 25 apiece. And Linfield came out of that halftime on a tear and went on about a 10-point run, and had a lot to do with that win that the Wildcats had down in McMinnville against the Blues in the first round. And so we are going to take a break here. Got a 15-minute halftime. Scores 25-24. Blues over the undefeated in league, 10-0 Linfield Wildcats. Be back shortly.
Sarah Marshall. I'm a senior politics and environmental studies major, and I work with the Career and Community Engagement Center as the student leader for community partnerships. It has provided me with a lot of opportunities to work collaboratively with a diverse range of people. So as I look to my post-grad plans, I'm thinking a lot about nonprofit work and community building, community organizing, and I don't think that any of that would have been the direction I would have chosen without having this hands-on experience.
My name is Kane Ryan. I am a junior biochemistry, biophysics, and molecular biology major, and I am a fish culture technician at the CTUIR's Mussel and Lamprey Lab. I think growing up in the Pacific Northwest, just being surrounded by so many streams and lakes and river systems, and never really knowing what was going on in there always got me really curious and interested in what was happening below the surface. Pacific lamprey and freshwater mussels aren't considered species of interest by most organizations. We have the opportunity to study these species in way more depth than anywhere else in the world.
Welcome back to the George Ball Court in the Sherwood Center on the beautiful campus of Whitman College. This is Skip Molitor subbing in for Jimmy Hill and being treated to an outstanding game between the undefeated Linfield Wildcats, who come in with a perfect 10-0 Northwest Conference League record, against the Whitman College Blues, who are in the third spot right now with a 9-2 league record, 14-6 overall. The Wildcats are 17-2. There are two of their losses. One of those was to the currently number 3 University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, who's currently 19-0 on the year, and the other loss was to East Coast Baptist early in the year. Almost an identical score the first half of this game and the first half down at McMinnville. I believe the halftime score there was 25 apiece. Today, the Blues with a 25-24 1-point lead. Looking at the statistics from the first half, the Wildcats did some damage at the free throw line, going 11 for 14, and the Blues only had 2 opportunities from the free throw line. That was Brianna Andrade going 2 for 2, so a significant disparity there. The other big disparity is the field goal percentage shooting. The Blues are 11 for 25, good solid performance, just over 40%. The Wildcats, on the other hand, are 6 for 25. They don't have a single player with more than 1 field goal. And as mentioning coming in, this is an extremely experienced lineup with 6 seniors in their top 8, the other 2 being juniors, 2 returning all-conference players, Vermeulen, number 3, and number 20, Meade. And the Blues defended those 2 well enough. Meade was 0 for 4 in the first half and had just 2 points with going 2 for 4 from the free throw line. And Vermeulen has not cracked into the scoring column yet. So that's been a big part of the Blues keeping the Wildcats within striking distance. The Blues forced 10 turnovers, but then so did the Wildcats. So 10 turnovers each, and a little bit more of a case of 2 outstanding defensive teams than it is. There's not a lot of carelessness offensively. It's just both of these teams are able to maintain a very solid full court pressure on the part of the Wildcats, half court defense on the part of the Blues, and outstanding team defense, very active hands, not easy teams to score against, which explains why they're number 1 and 2 in the conference when it comes to field goal percentage defense and the differential between offense and defensive field goal percentage. So I would expect the same starting lineups in the second half. Whitman did have Emelina Baker on the bench the entire second quarter with 2 early fouls in the first quarter, and she was joined by Morgan Montgomery, who played sparingly in the second quarter. So both teams get through the first half with nobody with more than 2 fouls, and Whitman had 2 of their top offensive threats have to watch more than half of that first half from the free throw from the bench as a result of those 2 early fouls. So the 3-point line, both teams are an identical 1 for 4. Teams relying on a lot of good, solid half-court offense, a lot of penetration, a lot of good help defense, a lot of deflections. Leading scorers, Holly Morgan has 8 for the Blues, followed by Jordan Leith with 5 and Brianna Andrade with 4. And on the Wildcat side of things, Eve Burke hit 4 quick free throws to open up the scoring, and then hit 1 field goal as well. So her 6 points lead the Wildcats. And Jaden Ray off the bench and Skylar Willie support her with 4 points each. So we're about ready to get going in a half that is a consequential half in regards to the Northwest Conference standings. These 2 teams met 3 times last year, and the Blues came away in the first round of the Northwest Conference playoffs with a good solid victory against the Wildcats here in Walla Walla. And that was the Wildcats' first appearance in quite a while in postseason play. And Whitman, of course, had 5 seniors last year from a team that on two of the 4 years they played together went 16-0 in league play. So we are back in action. Holly Morgan takes a look, gets the ball out to the right wing to Montgomery, and Emelina Baker's power move just spins out. And we've got a jump ball, and that is going to be possession Linfield. So this is Meade crossing the timeline, as I mentioned in the first half. First team all-conference last year as a junior. Outstanding team leader, huge part of the reason why the Wildcats have not been beat this year. Gets the ball to Willie at the free throw line. Willie comes up with a nice little 3-4 foot jumper and opens up the scoring in the second half. Wildcats apply their man pressure, kind of a run and jump pressure where they don't stick with their man the entire way up the floor. They'll jump on opportunity and then recover back to either their person or their defensive partner's person. Blues taking a look. That is Kayla Peters from the three-point line. That comes up short, bounces out of bounds. Linfield back in front. They've led the vast majority of the game. Blues did a nice job catching them right at the tail end of the first half. Linfield comes out, gets the first bucket of the second half. They had an outstanding third quarter down in McMinnville. And let's see if the Blues can avoid the same fate here today in the Sherwood Center. So Meade gets to the free throw line, fumbles. Peter almost has the steal and does a nice job not fouling the desperation three at the end of the shot clock. And that shot clock violation is going to be a turnover against the Wildcats, caused initially by the mishandle on Meade's penetration. So Jordan Leith inbounds it. Peters has the ball, bringing it across the half court line, out to Montgomery. Okay, Holly Morgan, nice flash to the basket. Nice pivot, nice on-balance jumper. Just a little bit left of everything and bounces out of bounds. So nice defensive stop by the Wildcats. Ball's back in Meade's hand, crossing half court. Vermeulen's to her left. Meade waves her teammate through, gets the ball to Vermeulen at the top. Vermeulen still scoreless. And Willie at the top. Looks like that might be a matchup they feel like they have a little bit of an advantage with. Emelina Baker did a nice job defensively. And that foul is going to be called against that was against Holly Morgan. So that's one foul because she got a little contact before Baker had the contact close to the basket. So Solt hits Willie on the inside. Baker can't avoid the temptation to reach for the dribble, and her third foul is going to send her back to the bench. So Baker's first half, she had a total of 3 minutes and 55 seconds. And less than 3 minutes here, so foul trouble is keeping her from impacting the game the way she'd like. And that's Solt with a three-pointer from the left corner. So a quick 5 points, and the Wildcats successfully did this in McMinnville. And there's a nice jump out of their man-to-man structure. Sumi Lavelle with a little free throw line jumper to keep the Blues from going on an offensive drought that they did down in McMinnville at the start of the third quarter, drawing the Blues within two, 29-27. Willie posts up, releases the post, comes out, gives Meade an on-ball screen, back into Willie, back out to the left-hander. And that is Vermeulen. We expected to hear from her eventually. Nice three-point effort there by the senior returning first-team all-conference player. Montgomery with her runner, significantly short. And she gets it ahead to Meade. We might have a timeout here by Coach Ferenz. So the Wildcats storm out to a quick 10 points. Almost identical to what happened in McMinnville. I think they quickly gained a 10-point advantage in McMinnville, holding Whitman scoreless or just with a bucket for about the first half of the third quarter. So similar situation to this point. Wouldn't be surprised if the Blues respond a little bit more positively in Walla Walla than they did down in McMinnville. And so tonight's games are being brought to you by Flow College, the essential destination for college conference partners in Division I, II, and III, with packages, event live streams, and rich editorial content into one accessible product. It is the leader in streaming for Division II and III sports, the number one provider of women's sports at these levels, with more than 9,000 games slated for the 25-26 season. With Flow College, subscribers have the most comprehensive and personalized access to select conference colleges, schools, teams across all leading web, mobile, and connected TV applications. So a quick statistical update. So the Blues have just had the one turnover this quarter. They're up to 11. Linfield still at 10. But that 10-point spurge was primarily as a result of good half-court defense and then nice transition offense immediately following. Okay. Okay, I was interrupted by Amy Molitor. She's the chairman of our Environmental Studies Committee. And let's get back to business here. So who missed that shot for the Blues? And so the Wildcats are back in business after a defensive stop. And outstanding defense. Holly Morgan forces a turnover there. I believe that goes for as a steal for Morgan. She leads us in that category. So remember, Linfield with the ball up 34-27, and Holly gets the key steal. And we come back down and immediately respond with a Kayla Peters 3 from the top. And now we're looking at 30-34 rather than what could have been 36-28. So nice response. Holly with the steal, Kayla with the three-pointer. They go inside. Sumi Lavelle does a nice job forcing the kick out. And that three-pointer is going to come off the front of the rim. It's a team rebound for the Blues. And we're going to have a media timeout. So critical response from the Blues, getting down 8, and then forcing a turnover, coming down, getting a 3, and now we have the ball down 4. Chance to get this within 2 or 1. Very nice response by the Whitman College Blues. Our many thanks to the W Club for its support of our Whitman College student athletes and athletic programs. The W Club exists to enhance excellence in varsity athletics and the student athlete experience, as well as help fund assistant coaches, international travel, and operating expenses. Head over to www.whitmanblues.com and make a donation or become a member. And so that 3 by Kayla Peters was her first field goal of the day. Puts the Blues up to 2 for 6 now from the three-point line. And both teams were 1 for 4 at half. Linfield has a pair of quick three-pointers. So they're now up to 3 for 7 from the three-point line. And the Blues 2 for 6. Whitman inbounding the ball. Jordan Leith inbounds it. A nice defensive switch. Morgan makes herself available for Montgomery. Left corner 3 by Kayla Peters. Comes off the front. And the Wildcats are in their fast break transition. Hustle down the court. Get the ball to Vermeulen. Meade uses the on-ball pick. Vermeulen takes a look. Nice no foul by Sumi Lavelle. And That's going to result in a team rebound for the Blues as the Wildcats stepped on the line. Ray is now in for the Blues, giving Solt a break. Big steal by the Wildcats on the inbounds pass. Vermeulen taking a look inside to Meade. Seeing Vermeulen and Meade have a little bit more to do with the offense in the second half. Meade's runner comes off the front of the rim. Jordan Leith advances the ball to Holly Morgan. Morgan keeps her dribble, prefers driving right. Has her teammates get into a screen down action. Kayla Peters is not available at the top of the key. Jordan Leith gets it. Sumi Lavelle puts it on the floor, gets it to Holly Morgan. Outstanding defense by the Wildcats. And that defense leads to a fast break transition lay-in. A 6-point lead, 36-30 for the Wildcats. Backcourt foul. That's going to go against Eve Burke. That's her second personal. Burke is going to take a break for the Wildcats. Montgomery bringing the ball across the timeline. Again, outstanding Wildcat defense. They do get called for the foul there, but they do apply a lot of pressure. A little bit of doubling, a little bit of trapping, but primarily just very good on-ball pressure with a lot of good help. Jordan Leith gets herself available. Drives left. That's a clean block by Roberts. Blues in a box set, out of bounds underneath. Screen across the lane. Baker back in the game for the Blues, along with Brianna Andrade, who had a good first half. Avery Neal. Nice penetration out to Montgomery. Nice patient possession by the Blues. Hard drive left by Montgomery and an outstanding left-handed finish, drawing the Blues within 4, 36-32. Meade gets her teammate set. Elbows at the screens at both right and left elbow. Reverse the ball to Roberts. Looks inside to Willie. Nice help by Avery Neal. Forces a Wildcat turnover. Willie trying to hit Roberts, cutting along the baseline. And under that pressure from the Blues, it's deflected out of bounds. Montgomery makes herself available for the inbounds pass, working against Meade. Solid first pass into Brianna Andre. Brianna goes down to the post, posts up hard. Emelina Baker hands off to Montgomery, gives her an on-ball screen. Montgomery takes a look at the three. 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Brianna Andre has got to get this off in a hurry, and it's not going to hit the rim. So that's a shot clock violation against the Blues. Coach Friend's not real pleased with the team's offensive execution on that play. And Meade crosses the timeline working against Montgomery. Willie gets herself available at the top of the key. Middle is wide open for cutters and drivers. Willie gives Robert the on-ball screen. Hard drive. Good no call. The ball is kicked unintentionally. Good no call. Roberts with the necessary three at the end of the shot clock, trying to avoid the shot clock violation, but the buzzer goes off. Another turnover against the Wildcats. Wildcats getting close to 15 turnovers, and Blues are a little bit lower than that, but Both teams applying a lot of good pressure. Whitman on the half court, Linfield more on the full court. And Whitman is fortunate there. Avery Neal's pass was deflected out of bounds, which it was headed out of bounds prior to the deflection. So that saves the Blues a turnover. Montgomery working with the ball up top. Andre, the left elbow, gives Montgomery a screen. Hard cut to the basket. Very nice catch by Andre. Emelina Baker takes the ball hard to the hole. Drive right, spin left, finish with the left. Draws the Blues within 2. And that was an outstanding response that the Blues have come up with, especially defensively, after that 10-point spurt at the start of the second half. Sumi Lavelle with her, I believe, her third block of the game. And giving the Blues a much-needed lift defensively in the post. Wildcats in a box set. Screen across, screen up. Work Willie to the ball side post. Roberts has the ball out on the right wing. Shot clock, single digits. Nice deflection. And that's going to work in the Wildcats' favor. That was going to be a shot clock violation, and instead it's a jump ball with possession arrow going for the Wildcats. So they will get a fresh 30 here. They do not get a fresh 30. Jump ball, they have to get the shot off in 5 seconds and are unsuccessful in doing so. So the jump ball, the shot clock remains the same when the possession stays with the same team, and that rewarded the Blues for an outstanding defensive possession. And with 5 seconds left, the Wildcats aren't able to get something up and get it on the rim. Avery Neal in the backcourt. Blues have a chance, last possession of the third quarter, to tie the game up or go up by 1. Looking at Jordan Leith inside. Cut by Morgan Montgomery. And Avery Neal, outstanding half-court defense by the Wildcats. So we're being treated to 2 excellent defensive teams tonight. And that was a great defensive possession by both teams in the last possession of the third quarter. So very similar to what happened in McMinnville, 25 each or 25-24 halftime, is followed by an offensive spurt by the Wildcats that gained them an 8-9 point lead. Nice timeout by Coach Ferenz, and Holly Morgan had an outstanding steal that led to a bucket that broke the scoring isolation for the Blues, and they crawled back in to get within 2 at the quarter. So rather than the 10-point deficit they faced at the end of 3 in McMinnville, the Blues are behind by 2, 36-34. Statistical update. Let's take a look at rebounds right now. So it's 24-13 for Linfield over Whitman. And so you'll see Whitman have a 11 rebound disparity very, very rarely. So they are having a hard time with the Wildcats on the boards. The Wildcats have 8 offensive rebounds, total of 24. The Blues have only 2 offensive rebounds. So this seasoned veteran Wildcat team that is yet to be beat in the Northwest Conference is doing an outstanding job defensively and on the defensive boards. But the Blues defense is what is keeping them in the game. And I think we are in for a treat of a fourth quarter. Avery Neal looks inside. Blues in their flex action. Neal breaks free off of a screen down and a slip to the ball. She was found by Holly Morgan. Outstanding assist by Holly. And we are tied at 36 apiece. Blues come out in the little zone. This is the first possession of the game where they have showed zone. And it's a steal by Holly Morgan, and that's called a clean block in transition. And there's no foot stomp by Coach Ferenz, so that might have been a pretty good call. So Holly, who made the steal and almost had the turnover transition lay-in, inbounds the ball underneath. Avery Neal, outstanding catch. Lena Baker, right wing, middle's open. Holly drives right again, and Emelina Baker catches the shot, which didn't come close. It was partially blocked, I believe. And Emelina gets herself to the free throw line, catches the shot, gets a shot off, gets fouled, and she is going to shoot what I believe will be Whitman's third free throw of the evening. That can't be right. I think I'm looking at the wrong stat sheet. No, third. Those are the third and fourth free throws of the evening for the Blues. All right, so the Blues are up 38-36. Meade gets the ball out to Solt. Up to Burke, back to Meade. Nice patient possession. Good floor spacing for the Wildcats. Sound defense. The Blues went back into their man-to-man defense. Willie with the drive right. And that three-pointer is coming off and bouncing out of bounds. Team rebound for the Blues. Outstanding defensive possession. The Blues have a chance to go up 4 or 5. Montgomery gets the ball into Avery Neal. Working one-on-one, bringing the ball across the half-court line. Avery gets a release pass to Brianna Andrade. Up to Kayla Peters in the flex action. Avery looks inside to Holly Morgan. Holly wisely kicks it out after she is double-teamed. Avery, outstanding offensive possession by the Blues. Avery with the shot fake, bounce pass to Holly Morgan. Morgan puts in a clutch, about 6-footer, and the Blues have a 4-point lead. Now they're back into a zone defense. So they're changing defenses a little bit. It appears to be a matchup zone. And cross-court pass. This is another great defensive possession. That is better offense by the Wildcats. A lot of patience, a couple cross-court passes, and nice drive. And that was Eve Burke to finish that good offensive possession with a lay-in. Emelina Baker out on the right wing, up top to Holly Morgan, back to Baker. Avery Neal. Brianna Andrade with trying to catch the ball in the left post, and very nice steal by the Wildcats there, double teamed by Solt. And she gets the steal. They take care of the ball in turnover transition. Nice patient offensive possession. Solt goes hard left. Tries to find her teammate under the basket. And the ball is deflected with 9 seconds left on the shot clock. It will be Wildcat possession out underneath. And Linfield comes out in their box set. Solt takes a look. Roberts gets a back screen. Solt puts the ball on the floor. Nice help by Avery Neal defensively. That's a big three right before the shot clock. And it doesn't go down, but it's offensive rebound by the Wildcats. That's been a problem for the Blues tonight. And now they're setting up with another opportunity to tie the ball game up at 40. Or we go ahead 41-40. Another offensive rebound. And so that was Meade with a little stop-up jumper from 10. It came off, and Willie with the offensive rebound. She's hard to keep off the boards down there. And, the only 6-footer on the floor. And she brings it down, and Baker and Avery Neal are going to take a break. Montgomery, Peters back into the game. Out of bounds underneath this possession. They've already had 3 shots at it. And Here comes their fourth shot of the possession by Willie down low, and it's long. Rebounded by Sumi Lavelle. Peters fumbles it. We've got a 10-second issue, and Michelle Ferenz was trying to get a timeout before the ball crossed half court. And costly turnover for the Blues. Costly no call by the officials, not giving Ferenz the timeout when they were about 8 seconds into the backcourt possession. Also discussing a little bit of footwork with the post play. So things are heating up. We've got 6:15 left. Blues are up 40-38. That's Willie with the ball at the right top. Vermeulen hands off to Meade. Meade back to Willie. Nice triple team by the Blues on the post, forcing the turnover. Jordan Leith brings the ball up. This is a big possession for the Blues. And Kayla Peters. Okay, so Kayla Peters with a little runner, and she gets fouled. She goes to the free throw line. That foul is against Willie. It is her first of the evening. And the Blues will shoot their fifth free throw of the game. Kayla Peters calmly knocks it down. Blues with a 5-point lead with 5:45 left in the fourth quarter against the undefeated in conference, Linfield Wildcats. Both teams showing a lot of outstanding offensive patience. You can tell every possession is important. And Willie with a nice little post move that just comes off the front rim. Montgomery takes the ball hard in transition. Finds Leith on the outside. Back out to Kayla Peters. Nice cut on the inside by Sumi Lavelle. Montgomery with a beautiful drive down the lane and just comes off the front rim. Another very nice possession by the Blues and outstanding defense by the Wildcats. So Meade's getting her team set up. And he gives it to Vermeulen. Ball goes, I believe, to Roberts. Meade gets it up top to Vermeulen. Hands it back to Roberts, back to Vermeulen. The first two first-team all-league players from last year. Vermeulen's three-point shot clearly short. Bounces out of bounds. Another team rebound for the Blues. And so we've got immediate timeout with 4:37 left. The Blues have possession of the basketball, up 5 points against a team that has not lost this year in the Northwest Conference. This remind you of the stakes of this game. And so coming into the game, we're looking at Linfield at 10-0, UPS at 10-2, and Whitman at 9-2. And so a loss here would put Linfield with one loss, and both Whitman and UPS at 2 losses apiece. The Linfield victory, on the other hand, would keep them 2 and 3 games ahead of the Blues and the Loggers from UPS. So update on the turnover count, it's 16-14, so the Wildcats have been guilty of 16 turnovers, and the Blues 14. Free throw line, the Blues are 5 for 5 for the game, and Linfield, I do not believe, has shot a free throw in the second half. They were 11 for 14 at half and remain at that level. Both teams, Linfield's made 2 3-pointers and Whitman 1 3-pointer in the second half. So it's this one has the makings of a fantastic finish. Montgomery has the ball up top. Opens the offense by hitting Holly Morgan on the left wing. Now it's Jordan Leaf out there on that same left wing. Back to Montgomery, right wing. And we got 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Very sound team defense. And a deflection on the roll. So Sumi Lavelle rolling to the basket. Montgomery trying to get that pass in there, and a great defensive stop. A deflection and a steal by the Wildcats. So that foul is going to go against Kayla Peters. That is her second foul. And the Wildcats have the ball out of bounds underneath. 3:56 left. Sumi Lavelle defending Willie. Back to Willie in the key. That would have countered if it went. It did not. Foul's going to go against Sumi Lavelle. And Willie will go to the free throw line. So Willie, I believe, has shot 2 free throws tonight and made them both. She's got a total of 8 points. At this point, leading the Wildcats in scoring. Vermeulen has 3, and Meade has 4. So the Blues have done an outstanding job defending the 2 all-conference players from Linfield. Both teams battling every possession defensively, and a basket out here is a well-earned 2 or 3 points. We've got a little bit of a break on the floor. I believe we have a issue with, it's usually shot clock in these situations. So we're all getting a breather here. Maybe not a bad thing. All right, we're shooting 2. I guess the and we are shooting 2 again. Here we go. Willie's at the free throw stripe. Both these teams are outstanding free throw shooting teams. Willie up just under 70% from the free throw line. Gets the first and calmly switches the second. So we've got a 1-possession game. Blues are ahead 43-40 with the ball. 3:45 left in the fourth quarter. Morgan Montgomery maintaining her dribble. Jordan Leith with a hesitation. Nobody's been able to gain any advantage yet. We're down to 8 seconds on the shot clock. Trying to find something inside. Kayla Peters is going to have to get a desperation 3, and that could be the shot of the game. So a desperation 3 after an outstanding defensive possession by the Wildcats. And Kayla Peters at the buzzer swishes it from about 26. And mark our words, we're going to look back, and that very well might be the key possession of the game. So the Blues are up 46-40, under 3 minutes now. The Wildcats come down, get another offensive rebound. So their offensive rebound tonight has really hurt the Blues. They're up to, 11 or 12 offensive rebounds. The Blues have 16 total rebounds. Vermeulen goes to the free throw line. The senior leader calmly gets the first down, left-hander, mid-70s from the free throw line, and gets the second down as well. So the Blues gain 1 point on that exchange. Emelina Baker breaks from the half-court line, makes a contested catch, puts the ball on the floor, and gets fouled, and that will be the 3rd foul this period against the Wildcats. So we're not shooting, not in the bonus yet. Jordan Leith inbounds to Morgan Montgomery. Montgomery handling the ball against Solt. Very quick little defender. Little flare pick for Jordan Leith. Outstanding post feed to Emelina Baker. The Wildcats rebounded and have a chance to draw within 2. That foul is going to go against Emelina Baker. That will be her 4th. I don't think that will. No, that was against Holly Morgan. That was her 3rd. So Meade gets the first one down. She shoots 6-7-5 from the free throw line. Again, has that leadership gene, that clutch gene that a lot of all-conference players have. Very tough down the stretch, confident down the stretch. Draws the Wildcats within 2. 46-42, 2:29 left. So Whitman comes down. They've got a 5-out spread court. Holly Morgan picks the ball up, looking for cutting teammates. Jordan Leith works off the on-ball screen. Morgan Montgomery with a hard drive to the right, and it goes down. So shot it off the off foot. Right hand, right foot lay-in that finds the bottom. And Meade's got the ball left post. Nice post move, but one of the few clean defensive rebounds we've had. And Emelina Baker corrals it and is fouled. So we are now within a foul of getting to the bonus. And so we're under 2 minutes with the Blues with the ball with a 4-point lead. Emelina Baker breaks up from the half-court line, receives the pass from Holly Morgan. Jordan Leith does a nice job crossing half-court. It's a jump by the Wildcats. The pass is picked up by Montgomery, fortunately. Brianna Andrade up top. Hard drive by Holly Morgan. And so Brianna Andrade with the foul in the backcourt. That will be her 2nd. Team 5, so the Wildcats are going to go to the free throw line and shoot free throws in the bonus. Have a chance to draw within 2 with 1:27 left. If this second one goes in, or even if it doesn't, I'm sure the Wildcats are going to apply pressure here. This is Vermeulen at the line. And that one almost dies on the rim and drops in, fortunately for the Wildcats. Second one goes in a little cleaner. 48-46, 1:27. Inbound pass goes from Morgan to Montgomery. The Wildcats come up with a huge turnover in the backcourt and tie the game up. Emma Baker pushes the ball up. We've got 1 minute left, and we're tied at 48 apiece. Morgan Montgomery settles her team down. There's 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Jordan Leith with the jumper. That's going to come off. Does not draw rim. The Wildcats are going to call timeout and come across half court with the ball with 40 seconds. So critical steal at half court on the next to last possession of the game. Okay, well, this was somewhat what we were anticipating. A last possession game with the top team in the league for the last 4 to 5 years against the top team in the league this year. And so the Wildcats are discussing this last possession. There's 30 seconds on the shot clock, 40 seconds on the game clock. They will inbounds the ball and get the first good shot. Expect to see Meade with the ball in her hands and looking either at Willie on the inside or some kind of action with Vermeulen cutting to the basket. Wouldn't surprise me if looks like the Blues are going to set up in, they're in their man-to-man. Almost looks like a zone, but it is a zone. So they changed their defense. Holly Morgan went for the steal, and she got one of those steals earlier in the game. So a nice defensive switch by Coach Ferenz. And the ball's in Meade's hands. Now it's Vermeulen. And now Holly Morgan rebounds it. And the Blues have time to go down and get the last shot of the game. Score is 40-40. I think Coach Ferenz wants them to continue to attack rather than call timeout. There's no call. So Morgan Montgomery takes the ball hard to the hole. There's a lot of contact in the midsection, and the official decides that's not the kind of contact that she's going to call on the last possession of the game. So we are headed to overtime, and we are in for 5 more minutes of a treat between these two extremely competitive teams. So we've got more than we bargained for. We've got overtime with the number 1, 10-0 Linfield Wildcats against the number 3, 9-2 Whitman Blues. So again, that last possession, if Whitman does come away with the W there, they would be 10-2 in league, and Linfield 10-1, and UPS is also 10-2, and so it's a log jam at the top. George Fox is 7-4 in league, and so if things don't change drastically, there's George Fox is at 7-4, and Willamette's 5-7. So they've got a 3-game lead with 4 games left to make the 4th playoff spot. So right now it looks like George Fox, there's a very high likelihood that they'll be taking on the number 1 seed. And that number 1 seed, if Linfield escapes this with a victory, they'll have a 2-game lead with 5 games left. So again, both these teams, Linfield has 5 games remaining, 2 on the road, and Whitman has 4 games remaining. Next to we host Fox and Lewis and Clark, and then on the road against UPS and PLU. So we will start the 5-minute overtime with the 5-minute overtime will be started with a jump ball. So rebounding, the Wildcats out-rebounded the Blues 30-19. And we seem to have a little confusion here with the officiating crew. And we're getting the possession settled at the scorer's table. The jump ball goes to the Blues. So they will not have the ball fewer times than the Wildcats. They might have the ball 1 more time than the Wildcats. You need every advantage you can get. And so Jordan Leith gets the ball to Morgan Montgomery, swings it to the right wing to Brianna Andrade. This Wildcat defense is stellar. That's a block shot by Roberts. No, that was by Burke. And so Linfield blocks the first shot of Whitman in the overtime. Vermeulen dribbles to the right wing, gets the ball up top to Eve Burke. Eve looks at the cutting teammate, and the ball ends up back in the hands of Meade. An outstanding defensive possession by the Blues, and We may have a shot clock violation and or we either have a shot clock violation or an offensive rebound, shot, and a foul. And do we know if we're shooting or if it's shot clock violation? It turns out to be a shot clock violation. And so Willie had the offensive rebound and was fouled on the putback. But the offensive rebound would have had to hit the rim at the end of the shot clock, which it did not. So now the officials are getting their taste of what D1 officials deal with on a regular basis. They're reviewing the tape at the scorer's table to make sure that the ball indeed did not hit the rim. It looks like the call on the floor is maintained and shot clock violation against the Wildcats. Shot clock violation, official. So we start off the overtime. We've played a minute, and both teams have had an outstanding defensive possession. Much better defense than at times it can look like the offense is struggling, but it has a whole lot more to do with this being outstanding defense than bad offense. So Morgan Montgomery crosses the logo at half court. Brianna Andrade on the left wing. Emelina Baker, top of the key. Right wing to Jordan Leith. Okay, we've got 10 left on the shot clock. Montgomery drives hard left, and it is Meade with the outstanding defensive block. It's an adventure to get a shot off in this game. And good no call by the officials. That was another great defensive play by returning first-team All-League player. And now the Blues have 6 seconds to work with. We get it out to Montgomery. That three comes off the back of the rim. Emelina Baker with the offensive rebound, one of the few the Blues have had tonight. She wisely dribbles out, and the Blues are going to take their time. We'll work down to pretty close to 3 minutes left in this game. Jordan Leaf with the drive. Montgomery with the right wing three. Montgomery puts the Blues up by 3, 51-48. So Montgomery, perhaps her biggest bucket of the night. Meade has the ball left corner, hard drive, deflection by Montgomery. So Montgomery hits the three, and then she deflects Meade's dribble, and the Blues recover. And the Blues with the ball up three with 2:49 left. Brianna with a nice job of maintaining the position on her on-ball screen so as to not get called for an offensive block. And we've got a foul down in the post, a little bit of too aggressive defensive position, and Brianna Andrade is going to go to the line shooting two. Andrade gets the first. I do not think the Blues have missed a free throw tonight. The unfortunate part is they've only shot 6. But they hit the 6th and 7th, and so they have a 5-point lead with 2:42. Sumi Lavelle tries to deflect a cross-court pass, and that is going to send the Wildcats to the free throw line. And this is Eve Burke. We saw her open the game with 4 free throws, the first 4 points of the game, and she's a 76% free throw shooter. So this whole Linfield team tends to be mid-70s from the free throw line. Very seasoned, very experienced, very clutch. And she steps up, bangs the first one in. Both those free throws go down. We're back to a one-possession game. Blues up 53-50 with 2:30 left. Montgomery working in the backcourt. Barely beats the 10-second time limit to get the ball across half court. Gets the ball off to Jordan Leaf. Brianna Andrade gets it down in the post to Holly Morgan. Holly has the ball deflected. And we're now down to 8 seconds again on the shot clock. Morgan Montgomery with an outstanding leaner. Again, that wrong foot. And she almost gets that down. The Wildcats rebound it and have the ball. And I missed a foul. It looks like Willie must have had a bit of a shove down in the low post. Like to see the replay on that. Very unusual. They were not part of the action at all. And the official blew the whistle, and the Blues are inbounding the ball. Emelina Baker gets the ball to Jordan Leith, crossing the half-court line with Solt with the defensive responsibility. Baker takes a look against Willie. Morgan Montgomery, right wing, goes away from the on-ball. Baker with the three-pointer. Off the back rim, Holly Morgan with the offensive rebound. We've got a little bit of an opening, and Linfield quickly recovers. And that'll be Meade's second foul of the game. And as physically as she plays, as hard as she plays, it's remarkable she fouls as little as she does. And so we're going to have Holly Morgan step up to the line and shoot a pair. The first one goes down, dangles before it drops. And Montgomery is a 79%, or I'm sorry, Morgan is a 67% free throw shooter. But she gets both down here. She's 76 from the line, my bad. Okay, 5-point lead for the Blues, 1:20 left. A trap by Montgomery, surprising. And so they get the ball to Solt in the left wing. These Wildcats are all over the place defensively. And the Wildcats finally get called. Eve Burke with a little bit too much body. And this team, this Wildcat team, there's a reason they haven't been beaten in league play. They are tenacious defensively. Blues doing a fantastic job handling that pressure, taking care of the ball down the stretch when it counts. And we're at the free throw line with Jordan Leith. Jordan gets the first one down. Jordan's a 77% free throw shooter. Again, Linfield loses 6 of these top 8 players. Whitman has every single player on the roster coming back next year. And the second one is the first missed free throw of the game for the Blues. And I believe Linfield called timeout on the rebound, maybe before they had possession of the ball. And so we've got 58 seconds left. Blues have a 6-point lead, up 56-50. That's the 30 seconds, so the players have to remain standing rather than sit down. So again, the Blues are back in action next weekend for games here at the Sherwood Center against George Fox and Lewis and Clark. Visit www.whitmanblues.com for updated games, game times, viewing options, and ticket information. President Sarah Bolton is leading the charge here, getting Blues fans on their feet, trying to get some of the students on their feet across the way. And so Linfield inbounding the ball. It's in the hands of Vermeulen. She finds Meade. Vermeulen with the three-pointer. Off the back of the rim. Baker with the rebound. The Wildcats converge, and Baker's going to be shooting 2 free throws, I believe. Or do they call a jump ball? I guess they called a jump ball. It has been fun watching Michelle Ferenz work with this new group this year. Very little returning experience. In fact, the group of 5 starters from last year was a team game recently, and that group had propelled the Blues to 4 amazing seasons of 27, 20, 22, and 27 victories, 3 conference titles, 3 advancements in the NCAAs, and 2 of those championships were the result of 16-0 seasons. So to watch a young team start off very tentative and become tenacious down the stretch has been fun to watch. And so this is from the left wing, Solt, Mead with the rebound, and that's going to be Avery Neal called for the foul on the drive. So Solt, 5'3" senior from Loveland, Colorado, transfer from Carleton College. That free throw comes off. So Blues still up 6, 39 seconds left in the game. Solt gets the second one down. Timeout by Whitman College coach for Michelle Ferenz. She's inserting Jordan Leith into the game for relieve a little pressure in the backcourt. And so this Linfield team defensively has been amazing to watch. They don't do a lot of doubling. It's primarily intense pressure on the ball with an opportunistic double if you turn your back. And there are not a lot of easy advancing passes. It's wonderful in this kind of a situation to have a ball handler who's very confident bringing the ball up in the backcourt. But that timeout gives Whitman the ball in the front court, which is one of the reasons for the timeout. Emma Baker with the catch, and she gets the ball back to Holly Morgan. So Whitman has their most experienced player and one of their best free throw shooters heading to the line. Oh, so they say she fouled Emma Baker before giving up the ball. So Emma Baker doesn't hit any rim whatsoever. 72% free throw shooter. Second leading scorer at 11-5 a game. Hasn't played a lot of minutes in this one because of foul trouble, but has contributed tremendously when she has. So the Blues are now up 58-51. And Linfield calls timeout. They will advance the ball to the front court and expect some penetration by Mead, maybe a three-pointer by Vermeulen or Burke. And they've still got that presence inside with Willie, who Burke and Willie are their leading scorers at this point with 12 points and 10 points. So the Wildcats did an amazing job getting this game to overtime. The last defensive possession causing a turnover at half court to tie the ball game up, basically at the buzzer. And then Morgan Montgomery's drive was unsuccessful with Whitman's last possession. And went uncalled by the officials, probably a pretty decent call. There was some contact, but not sure if you determine the outcome of the game with lower body contact on the last play of the game. So here we are, 37 seconds, Vermeulen inbounding the ball, looking for her teammate Mead. Mead takes it up top. Whitman, not surprisingly, goes back into their zone, and it's a three-pointer from the top of the key. Mead with a rebound, another three-pointer from the left wing, and Sumi Lavelle with the rebound. She is going to go to the free throw line, and the Blues are very close to an outstanding win against the undefeated Wildcats of Linfield that is going to turn the conference race into, it just went from tight to tighter. So the result of this game will leave Whitman, if we win, will be 10-2. Linfield will be 10-1. Puget Sound is 10-2. So you've got the three leaders within a game of each other, with all facing each other at some point down the stretch. Sumi Lavelle misses the first. The second one also comes off. And so important the Blues don't stop the clock and put the Wildcats on the free throw line here. Vermeulen takes a left wing three. Those threes are not going down. Willie with the offensive rebound. Good job by the Blues not fouling. 6 points left, 6 seconds left in the game. And Blues fans are going to be pleased with this young group taking on a very experienced seasoned group that has not lost and administering their first loss of the season here in the Sherwood Center. So Baker and Jordan Leith are going to come in for the last possession of the game. Sumi Lavelle and Avery Neal take a break. So at the free throw line, we have Eve Burke open the game with 4 quick free throws. I don't believe she's missed a free throw tonight, and it doesn't look like she's going to. So she is now up to 13 points. Perfect from the free throw line. 14 points, so we've got a 5-point game with 5 seconds left. Stranger things have happened, but with Michelle Franz having a timeout in her pocket and able to advance the ball to half court, I think we're going to see an inbounds pass and a pair of free throws and see if the Blues can close this thing out at the free throw line. Thank you for your listening tonight. I know you're enjoying listening to Jimmy Hill on a regular basis. He's becoming awfully good at his trade of calling these games, and it's fun for me once a year when he's gotten a coaching gig to step in and give John Berry a break and have somebody on the mic. So we're going to have Holly Morgan inbounds the ball, right side of the court facing the basket. Brianna Andrade screening, Emma Baker, and that's all she wrote. They're not going to foul anymore, and the Blues come away with a 58-53 victory over the previously undefeated Linfield Wildcats. So it throws that conference into a log jam at the top. That's a good place to be in a log jam. So Linfield moves to 10-1 in conference play. Whitman and UPS are at 10-2, and George Fox 7-4. The only team mathematically with any chance whatsoever of catching that fourth spot would be Willamette at 4-7. And so this Blues team has gone from inexperienced to experience before our eyes, and that was a treat to watch. So we're going to close rather quickly tonight because John Berry has some work to do before the men's game, and so we will be back shortly with the Linfield Whitman men's game.